Indianapolis Colts, Tennessee Titans. We start off with potentially the battle of the backup quarterbacks, but it could also be the battle of the starting quarterbacks. I have this one as Joe Flacco and Mason Rudolph, which I don't really want anything to do with Rudolph. But as we get closer and closer to game time, this looks more and more likely like it could be Anthony Richardson and Will Levis. What the hell are we doing here? This is a mess.
I think it needs to be Flacco. I don't know what the hell the Colts are doing, but I know they're winning or at least being competitive and staying in games with Joe Flacco. This defense is terrible. They need to have a functional offense. Anthony Richardson has not provided it. So I'm assuming it's Flacco, especially with the news that Richardson remains limited. I mean, we can't count on Wednesday practice reports. Really, we'll have to see what happens today. That said, I'm hoping it's Flacco for fantasy. We'll roll with Flacco. And Mason Rudolph, Will Levis, doesn't matter. Who cares? Sit him.
Yeah, I guess they showed him like throwing on the side and things of that nature, Anthony Richardson. But Anthony Richardson is the quote unquote future. So of course they're gonna bring him back when he's ready, just because they spent all that capital and everything in him. But yeah, for these guys on that team who will be starting in a minute, we don't want Anthony Richardson. It's been a disaster. We want Joe Flacco because the pass rate and everything looks really great for him. On the Titans side, it's like, I don't know, man. Do they even have an NFL quality quarterback at this point? I don't even know on their team. We'll see if it's Will Levis. He has the arm strength, but he just sucks. He's just not good. So, yeah, not excited for it. But Flacco, yeah, I'm excited for Flacco.
All right, let's move on to something a little more exciting. The running backs, ? Jonathan Taylor, ? Trey Sermon, 20th best matchup. Tony Pollard, Tyjae Spears, 9th best matchup. I think the obvious choice here is JT if he plays. I have him on sleeper listed as playing because he was in my IR slot, and the fuckers made me take him out so that I can hold him on a bench spot for 3 days and then have to put him back on an IR spot when he's ruled out again. I don't know why the fuck they do that, but anyways, that's a rant for another day. What do you think here? Is Taylor playing? I do not have him in my ranks. At least I don't. Yeah, I don't even have him in my ranks. So I'm hedging on the no Taylor, but Sleeper seems to think he's not out yet. So what are we doing?
I'm hoping to ride the extreme inefficiency of Trey Sermon one more week here and have him fall into the end zone. But yeah, that's just on teams where I picked him up for some fab a week ago. No, the answer here is Tony Pollard and no one else. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, if he plays, sure, you fire him up. Of course, he's a high-end RB2 in this matchup. Tony Pollard has been killing it. I have him at RB14 right now. It feels a little high. I think you can also flex Tyjae Spears this week. But yeah, on the Colts side, JT, okay, Sermon, desperation flex.
Yeah, Sermon's the volume play. The issue is he's dealing with a collarbone injury. He may not even play. So you're talking about Tyler Goodson, who's actually, I think he's a better back than Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon's like a Najee Harris plotter, just not good, right that. So if it is Tyler Goodson and then Evan Hall kind of spelling him, I don't mind that combo for them. They'll be mid-range RB2s, RB3 flex range. And yeah, on the flip side, Pollard's been awesome. So you're going to fire at Pollard because he's been top 12 running back. I'm expecting it from him again. And to your point, yeah, I'm with you on Spears. Spears is a good running back. It's one of the better rooms in the NFL. So Spears is a flex range, RB30 for me. I like them both this week.
I have to defend my boy Trey Sermon. 6 targets, 6 receptions, only 25 yards, but finishes the half PPR RB10 last week because he fell into the end zone. So, yeah, he's a desperation flex for sure in this matchup, but let's not hate on him too much. Goodson did not finish that high.
All right, wide receivers. We have the worst matchup for the Colts. Pittman, who I think is now out long-term. I don't think he's been IR'd, but it doesn't look good. Josh Downs, who I believe is also kind of hurt, and Alec Pierce, who is also kind of hurt. Everyone on the Colts is hurt, which is great because I loaded up on the Colts this offseason on pretty much every team I have. 9th best matchup for Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, and Tyler Boyd, who I forgot even plays there. What are we doing here, assuming Pittman's out? I think Downs is my highest ranked receiver. It could be Ridley. Either way, it's someone in the wide receiver 3 range at best. What do you got?
Yeah, I'll start with the Titans. They're easy. Calvin Ridley and Hopkins are kind of lower end flex plays. The matchup is great, but the quarterback is not. So you just kind of fire them up and cross your fingers and hope that both of them eat. I think I'm a little more Calvin Ridley than Hopkins this week, but I can play both of them. On the other end, Pittman is obviously done. So you got Josh Downs in the slot. I like that for Downs if Flacco plays, if Pittman's playing. But now that Pittman is out and you got Adonai Mitchell, or who even knows who else they're going to be rolling out on the outside now with Pittman gone, that puts a little more of the focus on Downs. Thankfully, L'Jarius Sneed does not go into the slot, and they got a guy named Roger McCreary who's working in there, who's fine. So yeah, Downs is the best option there, and the best option in this game, even though it's just not that great all around.
Yeah, like Downs already was seeing more first read share than Pittman and stuff. So basically, he was just a better receiver than Pittman in his role. So yeah, Downs is hashtag good at football. What's nice is like Alec Pierce has been running so smooth and just getting touchdowns nonstop. So it's kind of why we've seen AD Mitchell struggle. They're both going to play on the outside. Downs is going to be the slot. Downs is going to be the guy getting a lot of early looks from Flacco and should be beneficial. On your flip side, it's a dream matchup for Ridley. His air yard shares are like 40%. He just got to connect on some of that this week. The problem is it's Mason Rudolph, Will Levis, whoever it is. That's the bigger issue. But yeah, I'm going to have Ridley and Downs inside my top 30. Downs is going to be a top 20 wide receiver for me as Flacco plays. Like, I'm very in on Downs. And then you could do the AD Mitchell or you could do the DeAndre Hopkins and one of those guys. They're like wide receiver 40 for me.